Hello friends, welcome to our channel 99 Movie Recaps. Today we will recap a South Korean movie The Red Shoes, which was released in the year 2005. At the start of the film, we see a woman expecting her pal at a place. Meanwhile, she seems on the lovely purple-colored footwear there. She likes those a lot. As she strategies those footwear, any other woman alternatives those up. She begins off evolved on foot after sporting those footwear. Covering some distance, she begins off evolved feeling something strange. Her foot get removed. This scene may be very painful. The scene modifications and we see a female named Soy Jae. She had a touch daughter. She were given separated from her husband due to the fact their courting wasn't tons good. Now Sun Jae and her daughter shift to an vintage apartment. That turned into so abandoned and nobody lived there besides an vintage female. People stated that ghosts stay on this place. Because bizarre matters came about on this apartment. Like mild became on and stale mechanically and bizarre voices might be heard. Living right here, turned into Sun Jae's compulsion as she had no cash to buy a brand new residence. When she is going to that room she reveals all of the stuff grimy and broken there. Without delay, she plans to upkeep the residence on her own. She begins off evolved repairing a bulb. But that bulb blasts and a spark hits her eye. She is going to her pal who turned into a medical doctor. Here we discover that Sun Jae is a medical doctor herself. Her medical institution is under creation yet. Then we see Sun Jae ready on the station with a purpose to pass home. She sees that identical purple footwear there that have been so quite to see. She rolls her eyes in order that she may want to go back those footwear to their owner. When she reveals no person there, she holds them and returns to her residence. Reaching home, whilst she attempts those on, she feels so bizarre. She begins off evolved visioning approximately a dancing woman who had worn those footwear. Her dance turned into first rate and the woman's status beside her turned into so jealous of her. Sun Jae thinks that she is having visions because of tiredness. She ignores this and proper then her daughter comes there. She asks her mom to allow her attempt those footwear on. How lovely those are. But her mom refuses her. No. Never. The subsequent day, after leaving her daughter to the school, she is going to the medical institution site. There, she meets a boy who turned into looking at creation paintings. Sun Jae says you paintings difficult right here so come to our residence at dinner tonight. On the opposite hand, we see Sun Jae's daughter attempting those footwear on due to the fact her mom wasn't home. These footwear have been over her size. But unusually the ones footwear suit her size. She begins off evolved seeing the identical visions. Then we see whilst that guy involves their residence, Sun Jae's daughter receives angry. She asks her mom that who's he and why do not you stay with my father? What's your difficulty with him? Sun Jae will become competitive and asks her daughter to move away. As she is going, she tells that boy that I were given separated from my husband. Meanwhile, that boy's eye catches the sight of these purple footwear. In spite of being a boy, those footwear appeal to him a lot. We see that Sun Jae had began out visioning in her sleep as well. She sees a pair carrying bridal attire in her dream. Sometimes, she noticed her daughter leaping from the building. As she moved ahead to forestall her, her toes used to reduce. Sun Jae become disillusioned because of her visions. She confirmed reality that something is related to those footwear. Whenever her daughter attempted the footwear, she forbids her. Then we see Sun Jae's physician pal. She involves her residence and as she seems on the footwear, she additionally receives mesmerized. She favored the footwear too. As Sun Jae is going a few far, she steals the footwear and runs with them. What factor become in those footwear that made one pal thieve some other pal's factor? As she's taking her footwear out she felt as though a person is chasing her. And then a person places her surrender his mouth from at the back of and takes her eyes out. And pushes her hard. She hits the mirror, which reasons the glass to interrupt and he or she dies. These footwear additionally reduce off her toes. And then we see that footwear additionally disappear from there. When the police get to recognize approximately it, they carry her useless frame with them. They check out her pal Sun Jae as she become the only home residence she visited last. It become a homicide case consistent with the police. Sun Jae sees a few images there. Seeing those, she recognizes that many girls have died like this before. She become not able to recognize the scenario. She comes domestic nervous. When she is going to her daughter, she sees her daughter with the identical purple footwear. Very amazed due to the fact her pal took those footwear. How did those come here? She angrily is going to her daughter and throws those footwear with inside the dustbin. She in no way desired to hazard anyone's existence simply due to the footwear she likes. When she comes lower back to her residence, she unearths her daughter with inside the identical footwear. Seeing this, she receives scared. At the identical time, her daughter's toes begin bleeding. Sun Jae receives faints seeing it. When she comes lower back to her sense, she unearths herself and her daughter in a hospital. She unearths the identical purple footwear in her hand. There become additionally a boy there who become at the development site. He brings her to the terrace and tells her that he discovered a 60-year vintage picture. That lady had held the identical footwear as this picture. Sun Jae desired to recognize extra approximately those footwear. She is going to gather facts approximately those footwear with that guy. She thinks that the vintage female who lives on this condominium would possibly have recognized approximately it. Because whilst that vintage female noticed the one's footwear in her hand, she requested her to throw them away. It appeared she became afraid of these footwear. Now each of them visit that vintage female. They ask her, however she became so scared and doesn't inform anything. Upon their request, she utters some words. She tells that after she became young, she labored at a female's residence named Oki. That lady became a dancer. She hated a lady due to the fact she became jealous of her. Her call became Keiko. Her pal became so being concerned approximately her. That became the purpose Oki became jealous of her. One day, that boy proficient the one's crimson footwear to her pal. Seeing this, that dancer desired the identical footwear. She began out trapping Keiko's pal. He fell for her. But one day, Keiko noticed each of them together. She then left. But her pal chased her to make her agree. When the dancer noticed this, she have become angry. That he nonetheless loves that lady. She killed Keiko in anger. She additionally reduced each of her feet. Then she held the crimson footwear and began out guffawing loudly. Keiko's pal became on her facet additionally. On that day, that vintage female became additionally there, witnessing the whole thing. They each did not recognize that she became additionally there. Then we see that dancer and Keiko's pal in bridal dresses. They had been marrying every other. That dancer had worn the identical crimson footwear. Right then, Keiko's soul comes there and kills each of them. She desired to do the identical. If a person touched her crimson footwear, she'll now no longer permit him live. Sun Jae receives scared and begins off evolved locating her useless body. As she unearths her body, she places the one's crimson footwear together along with her in a coffin. After doing this, she became a good deal comfortable due to the fact there has been an opportunity that Keiko will spare their lives. Because additionally they again their crimson footwear. Now we see that Sun Jae began out liking the boy who became at her medical institution site. She is going to fulfill him. She then unearths out that the boy has began out hating her. Because he is aware of the whole thing now. This reality became informed to him with the aid of using Sun Jae's daughter. That my mom by no means were given separated from my mom, however she killed her. Movie Red Shoes was released in the year 2005 and it's a South Korean horror film written and directed by Kim Yong-gyun. The movie got rating of 5.8 out of 10 on IMDb. The main cast of the movie are Kim Hae-soo as Sun Jae/Oki, Kim Sung-soo as In-chul, Sun Jae's boyfriend, Park Yeon-ah as Tae-soo, Sun Jae's daughter, Kim Jun as Keiko, Go Soo-hee as Kim Mi-hee, Sun Jae's friend. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe our channel 99 Movie Recaps.